Now let's summarize entire RAG process. First, user asks a question. Let's say, what is the vacation policy? Now, instead of directly sending this question to Gemini or any other large language model, we take a smarter route. We first send the query asked by the user to an embedding model. This model doesn't just keep the text. It converts the question into a vector, which is a basically mathematical representation of the meaning behind the sentence. At this point, now we have two things. First, the original query in plain text and its vector form, which captures the deeper meaning of the query. Now here is the important part. Let's assume that earlier we have already taken all our documents like HR policies, PDF files or internal manuals and converted each of them into vectors in the similar way. Means similar way as we have followed for user question. Now all of our vectorized documents are stored in what we call a vector store. So this is our vector store. Now just imagine we have a big collection of documents, each represented by a vector that reflects its meaning. Now comes the key step. We compare the user's query vector with all the document vectors in my vector store. This comparison is done using a method called cosine similarity. Think of it like measuring how close two arrows are pointing in space. Now whichever document vector is closest to the query vector, that's likely the document that matches the user's intent. So we pull out the matching document, but please remember we don't need its vector anymore. I need the original text of the document. Now I take the user's original question and add this relevant document text as context that we have fetched to vector store and converted back vector to text and fetch relevant document from here, from our documents. Hope all of you are clear with this, right? So I am repeating, we pull out the matching document, but as I said, we don't need its vector anymore. We need the original text of the document. Now we take the user's original question and add this relevant document text as context. After that, we are sending both user's question and his context to LLM, and LLM will generate answer based on this context. No any guesses, right? Because we have already provided context with user's query. Means we have provided a question with background information. Now when LLM answers the question, it's not just guessing based on general knowledge. It's giving a response based on real relevant documents from inside the company. That's the core idea of RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It helps model give grounded, trustworthy answers, especially when you want it to work with your private data, not just public internet data. Hope all of you are clear with RAG. If you don't fully understand some parts on the first watch, I recommend watching it one more time. And I'm sure by the end you will have a very clear understanding of RAG.